Hello, and welcome back to the Marketer's Corner for everyone listening in today, our ongoing series of conversational podcasts with marketers from the Dynamics community. Today, we're pleased to have Mary Miller from QuickTag by OnChoice, formerly ImageTag, joining us. So, Mary, you mentioned that you've been having some great results with what you referred to as Smartsheets. Could you tell us a little bit about this, how you decided on this tool, and the beginning of the using of it?
Sure. So there's a little bit of legacy here for me. I'd used this tool at a previous company, and when I joined the team here at QuickTag, we had a number of different systems, and some of them were spreadsheets, and some of them were emails, and some of them were, oh, this file's on the network drive. You can go find it where it was before. And so I said, there's got to be a better way, right? Um,
Right.
and and right, so it's an online tool that enables project management and calendar management and budget management. So it's really a series of template solutions that you can now use in an online environment, a single instance, as it were, for all of the different tasks and projects and activities and event management and marketing calendars and visibility into all of that in at one online system. So Smartsheets is just a tool. You can go check it out for yourselves if you like, smartsheets.com, and you can sign up for it. But I had used it at a prior engagement, a prior company that I worked for, and found it to be super helpful because it's so flexible. You can start with something that looks just like a blank Excel spreadsheet and fill in whatever you want: tasks, project, due date, who's going to do it, what, that kind of thing. But then you can also apply more traditional tailored project management functionality to it and say, well, if I want to allocate a resource, but I only get 40% of their time because they're also working on these other three projects, what does that do to my delivery cycle or completion of a project? So you can use it in a very simple way to just kind of bring all of your, what used to be maybe Excel spreadsheets together into a single view, or you can be more complex and use more higher end functionality to really blow out kind of a full project management and tracking view of everything that you're working on. So we use it to manage all of our marketing projects.
All right, so you said something that's really caught my ear. If we could revisit that point
Yeah.
about you can also look at a particular if I heard you right, correct me if I didn't, but we can look at a particular member of your team that's got an assignment on this project, but then understand that because they're also working on two or other three projects,
Mhm.
that it impacts the scheduling. Is that what you mean? Or the
Exactly. Mhm.
Yeah, can you explain that a little?
Yeah, when you look at something, let's say a marketing project for an event, right? We've all got Summit coming up in the fall. We'll take that as an example. And I've got, six different categories of things that need to be delivered, booth design and video creation and all of these other tasks, right? Well, if one person is responsible for, let's say, 50% of those deliverables, and their name appears on a lot of different project lines in this sheet, then they need to be properly allocated, because if I book them for, 3 months straight of work and
Mhm.
then they get assigned to some other project, that now affects my ability to use that resource to get these things done. So the minute you add that person's name to another sheet, once they're set up as a resource in your system, then it pushes out the dates and says, hey, Tom over here was going to be 100% on this project, but now he's 50% allocated over here. So if you still want to use him, something else has to give. So it gives you that Gantt chart visibility to say, this is a project that's going to be impacted if this resource is working on something else. So it's a really nice view of, gosh, I either need to add more resources or scale back what I'm trying to get done, because I can't get more than 24 hours in a day, right? And it gives you that visibility.
So, one of the things I'm wondering is, do you have that visibility only when that person is part of your marketing team? Or let's say, for example, that to get ready for Summit, you need to share an employee in their role with somebody from a different department, is it cross-departmental as well?
It can be, yes. If you've got other department projects set up in the same tool, it will assign and allocate that resource across any project that they are allocated to. So yeah, those other departments, of course, would have to be using the same system and putting their resource names in the same way so that the system knows it's the same person. But yes, if there's multiple projects in the same environment, then it would allocate regardless of which project it was for.
Well, I would think everyone listening in would see the immediate benefit to that because I think we've all experienced, and it seems to be one of the biggest challenges in
Mhm.
working a team environment that lots of times, employees are asked to do multitasking, and often they're not in a position themselves
Mhm.
to figure out how far they can be stretched,
That's
and
right.
managers don't have a purview department to department how using that particular person is impacting their responsibilities elsewhere, right?
Mhm, mhm. That's a great point. It happens all the time, and it's one of the reasons that we really like using a tool like this because it's so versatile to accomplish that and give that visibility across departments.
Hmm. Is this an expensive investment?
Not really. No, we spend, gosh, I don't know the exact number per user off the top of my head. I'm sorry, but it's not very expensive. It's a small monthly fee, to be honest. And we just allocate it into our budget. It's probably the least expensive online marketing tool that we use, and it's
Oh,
huge value. Yeah.
oh, that's great.
Mhm.
And then if you were to be asked by someone in your upper management to explain, its cost benefits, what would you say?
Mm, I can see everything. I even use it. Yeah, I even use it to manage my marketing budget. So from a cost benefit standpoint, one of the templates that comes even out of the box with Smartsheets is a budget template. So you can roll things up, by month, by quarter, by year. I can save last year's version to compare how I'm doing against what I spent last year versus this year, and then I
Mhm.
can plug those numbers into, specific events like Summit and say, okay, roll it all up to show what I spent on Summit. So just the visibility alone is what delivers the value. The detail
Uh,
from a project management and task tracking and all of that is, the meat of it and certainly delivers value in its own right from a project management standpoint. But when you add those two things together, I couldn't live without it.
Yeah. Wow. It sounds like something that everybody on this call should be checking out. And I think that you should get an endorsement fee from Smartsheets for all the wonderful things you've just said about it. But it does sound like a great tool.
It's definitely helpful.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that with everybody. And we'll be talking to you soon, Mary. Take
Sounds
care.
good. Thanks, Mary Lou. Take care.